There's a reason education sucks, and it's the same reason that it will never, ever, ever be fixed. It's never going to get any better. Don't look for it. Be happy with what you got. Because the owners of this country don't want that. I'm talking about the real owners now. The real owners, the big wealthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own all the important land. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets. And they own all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear. They got you by the balls. They spend billions of dollars every year lobbying to get what they want. Well, we know what they want. They want more for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them. That's against their interest. That's right. They don't want people who are smart enough to sit around the kitchen table to figure out how badly they're getting fucked by a system that threw them overboard 30 fucking years ago. They don't want that. You know what they want? They want obedient workers. Obedient workers. People who are just smart enough to run the machines and do the paperwork and just dumb enough to passively accept all these increasingly shittier jobs with the lower pay, the longer hours, the reduced benefits, the end of overtime, and the vanishing pension that disappears the minute you go to collect it. And now they're coming for your Social Security money. They want your fucking retirement money. They want it back so they can give it to their criminal friends on Wall Street. And you know something? They'll get it. They'll get it all from you sooner or later because they own this fucking place. It's a big club, and you ain't in it. You and I are not in the big club. By the way, it's the same big club they used to beat you over the head with all day long when they tell you what to believe. All day long, beating you over the head in their media, telling you what to believe, what to think, and what to buy. The table is tilted, folks. The game is rigged, and nobody seems to notice. Nobody seems to care. Good, honest, hardworking people, white collar, blue collar, doesn't matter what color shirt you have on. Good, honest, hardworking people continue. These are people of modest means. Continue to elect these rich cocksuckers who don't give a fuck about them. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't care about you at all, at all, at all. Yeah, you know? And nobody seems to notice. Nobody seems to care. That's what the owners count on. The fact that Americans will probably remain willfully ignorant of the big red, white, and blue dick that's being jammed up their assholes every day. Because the owners of this country know the truth. It's called the American dream, because you have to be asleep to believe it.
Hi. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 2 of the Sane Asylum. My name is Jay Nova. It's nice to meet y'all. Today I am making a video which I did not really want to make. It's a painful experience right now. I was recently fired from a job that I was recently hired to. So what happened was I've been working for a company in the pool and spa cleaning industry for about a year now, and the pay was me, and I want to offer a promotion to your channel viewers. Don't worry about it. I'm not interested. Appreciate it though. But yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, I've been working in the pool industry for about a year now, and the pay wasn't great, but I learned a trade and I was getting pretty darn good at it. And so it got to the point where things are getting more expensive. My pay's not going up, so I threw out my resume on Indeed.com. And what ended up happening was I got contacted by a representative to Ocean Tech or Ocean Springs Tech Pools and Spas in Desert Hot Springs, California. And it's like the biggest pool and spa company in all of Palm Springs. So if you know anything about the area, you know how big of a deal that is. So I was excited. The pay was much better. There was training, certification. There was a full list of benefits. everything, everything I needed to really feel happy and accomplished. And so I gave my 2 weeks notice, and my boss for my last job was amazing, and he was pretty happy too. He was planning on downsizing. So he got rid of my route. And the job, I applied for, I went to Indeed.com and I read through it, and, Monday to Friday, weekends is needed, so it seemed pretty standard. As a pool guy, you understand that, you normally work Monday to Friday, get up early, and as long as you get your route done, no big deal. And so I get there and everything seems great. I'm not impressed by any of the training they're giving me, because honestly, I came from a much smaller place, and coming from a smaller place, you have to be more versatile. A lot of the things that I was trained already knew, and some things I had to, kind of reiterate, like, hey, this is how you get rid of algae. Why don't we have neutralizer? Why don't we have algicide in our truck? We need that stuff. And it was kind of refreshing being told, oh, we don't need all that. We just take a picture of it and we send it in, and somebody comes out and takes care of it. Oh, we don't need to worry about like the pool pumps or systems, because somebody just comes out and takes care of it. You don't have to do anything with it. Somebody will clean it, not you. Don't have to clean it. And it was a little refreshing, but on top of it, there were some basic things that I thought were important to know as a professional in that industry that I was not sure that they knew. But on top of that, so Monday to Friday, right? Complete my first week. I have I feel like I'm doing great. And Saturday rolls around. I wake up and my phone is blowing up with text messages. And the text messages simply say, where are you? Why aren't you here at work? Oh, I was under the impression Monday to Friday. And keep in mind, these people do not post a physical schedule. They do not tell you your schedule. They do not have a way for you to look up their schedule. There's no website, no app, no nothing. I think there might be an app, but they give you a company iPhone, which they didn't have for me since I was brand new. So there was no way for me to look it up. There was no way for me to ask. And I was under the impression that it was Monday to Friday. This is what is explicitly stated in this Indeed post, which I have. I'll pull up and we can go through it later throughout the show. So Monday comes around, I show up to work, start loading up the truck. Supervisor comes up to me and says, hey, you're not needed today. You're going to get paid for half the day, but go home, enjoy your day off. I'm like, am I in trouble? Because I knew, I was like, this is a bad look, but I explained it to him, explained the situation to him. I was like, this is what your ad said. You don't have a physical schedule. There was no way for me to get in contact to obtain this schedule. And honestly, I was under the impression it was Monday to Friday. This is the impression I was under. It was standard in my last job, and I assumed it would be the same in this one. I assumed wrong, but just because I assumed wrong doesn't mean that there wasn't an obligation on a professional to make sure new hires knew their schedule and were not misled by, say, a false, Indeed post. And so the next day comes around, I get a text message. Yeah, you're fired. No call, no show. Da 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 da. And I explained the situation once again. And the lady that was texting me, I know she had really nothing to do with it, because I genuinely believe that it was up to her. She would have been like, no, this is on us. But I had to explain to her the exact situation, and it was wrong. I'm telling you, it was wrong. It was unfair. But more than likely, it was legal. It was absolutely legal. And why is that? That is because we live in an at-will state. We live in an at-will state where you can fire anybody for any reason or no reason at all, just as long as it's not an illegal reason, like protected class, sexual assault, reporting illegal activity, anything along those lines. You cannot fire somebody for in the state of California or in, I believe, all states. So what does this mean for me? Well, as far as recourse, I don't really have a lot of legal recourse. There's not a whole lot I can do. There might be something along the lines of false advertising, blah, 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 which is mentally draining. If I can't get them in court, in my opinion, I'm going to get them in the court of public opinion. I have posted my story to their Yelp, Glassdoor, Indeed reviews, all over the community Facebooks, and I do not mince words. I tell it exactly how it happened, and I tell it exactly how I feel. I've had people tell me that I need to be careful because I need to worry about defamation or anything like that, and I know what defamation is. I know what libel is, and I know for a fact I'm only stating what is true, what I believe to be true, and what I can prove to be factually true. So you got to ask yourself, what kind of employers are these? These are to snatch someone off of a job where they may be barely making it, but they're making it. To snatch one off a job and then immediately fire them for pretty much no reason. Fire them pretty much no reason, leaving them destitute, no income, no job, no way to, destroying your self-esteem, your self-worth. These are people that for one, I'm kind of glad because I don't want to work for these people long term, obviously, because shady people that do shady things day one are going to do shady things day 2, 3, 4, 300, 400, 500. And I felt like this was, but I did feel like this was slap in the face, and it definitely did damage me. It definitely hurt me. I don't know what I'm going to do, honestly. I actually got to move out of my place in like a month. I made plans. I can't be here in a month, as much as I like to. So this is the state, and and honestly, the sad thing is this is the symptom. I'm the symptom of a messed up problem. And I believe it's this at will employment. This is a situation that was made, that was brought to being by conservative judges during right after the Civil War, right after slavery ended. They wanted to stop people from having claims for leaving their job for not being paid. They wanted to stop people. They wanted to make sure employers had every ability to basically fire anybody for anything, because they didn't want to have to be held accountable for situations like mine. And so today I think we will discuss this topic, this one box that the crazies have made and shoved us sane people into. And we will go over the state of the country and when it comes to at-will employment. So bear with me. Let's watch a few videos and maybe read an article or two, and we can discuss them. So just bear with me for a second. It's been a year since I've been on Streamlabs, so it might be a little hard trying to make sure that you guys get the videos and all that stuff. So give me 1 second if you don't mind. So here is a video about I'm gonna find it real quick. Here we go. This is an employee. This is fairly recent. This is an employee that was fired via Zoom call. And this is the story that came with it. And so we're going to discuss it. And we're going to watch it. We're going to break it down. We're going to discuss it. And we'll have a grand old time.
There is backlash today after this young woman recorded herself getting fired.
You have not met your expectations for performance. We've decided to part ways with you.
Yeah, I'm going to stop you right there.
Brittany Peach had been working in sales at the tech company Cloudflare for just 4 months, and she's being told by 2 HR representatives that she's getting the boot.
Can you explain for me why Brittany Peach is getting let go?
I won't be able to go into specifics.
Wait, why though? I just started. I've been working extremely hard. It's just...
These people don't care how hard you've been working. They don't care that you just started. These are people trained to basically have no soul. They are trained to look you in the eye as you're crying your eyes out after you worked your ass off, and they know they know you worked your ass off. They just don't care that you did. They don't give like two rats' asses that you worked your ass off. But they're gonna let her go anyways. They don't care about her mortgage, her rent, whether or not she has a kid to feed. They don't care about her car payment and all the bills that racked up. They don't care about like all the expenses that got more and more expensive because people like this have hoarded all the money in the US. They don't care about people like her until it gets news exposure, until it affects their bottom line. Then they care. But yeah, let's continue.
Just very, very shocking. Very, very shocking. I've like really given my whole energy and life over the last 4 months to this job. And to be let go for no reason is like a huge slap in the face.
I'm really sorry that you're having this experience and feeling this way.
Many applaud.
You hear that? I'm really sorry that you're having this experience. Then don't give her the experience. Why are you a part of something like this? Why would you allow yourself to be a part of something like this? You got to think. Somebody sat there and said sold their soul to look people dead in the eye without cause and getting rid of their job with no notice that day, that moment. She's like, there was going to be a moment where she thinks she's fine, and there's going to be a line that we cross where she knows that she's not fine, where she's going to be like, oh shit, I'm going to be homeless. This is what these people do to people like her, like me, like you. They will do it to you. They've done it to me. They did it to her. We all know that she probably did an amazing job. In companies like this, they do this all the time. They lay off they lay off hundreds of people a day. They ruin hundreds of lives a day. Ruin them. I just got lucky because my taxes came in pretty much the day, less than a week after I got fired. Like shortly after I was fired, I got my taxes. No, it was the next day I got my taxes. So I have a little bit of income, like a little bit of like fallback on that. I got a little okay because of that. So yeah, but employers like hers, like mine, most likely like yours, couldn't give two shits. Like that, they'll talk sweet nothings into your ear all day long. They will rub like Vaseline all over your butthole and blow in it, make sure it feels good. But at the end of the day, you're still getting fucked. They will fuck you all day, every day. They don't care. Like in my case, it didn't matter that I made perfect sense. It didn't matter that I sent them screenshots of their ad and be like, hey, this is what happened. Didn't matter to them. They were more than willing to, for one, take somebody that just gave up a job for them and just make sure that he had no job. So let's continue with this.
Applauded the 28-year-old for standing up for herself. So proud of you, goes just one of the many thousands of comments on social media. But some are taking Britney to task.
You need to stand up for yourself if this happens. This is why they do it, because nobody stands up for themselves anymore. Nobody says this is wrong. They just move on and try and find another job. Like they're so stressed, like it's so stressful that you can't, that you're juggling, looking for a job, trying to figure out how to pay this, that, and the other, that trying to just get word out like this is fucked up. It's hard to do. And I'm able to do it because for some reason I just can't stop thinking about it. I'm pissed. And if this has ever happened to you, you should be pissed too. Everybody that this has ever happened to, for no reason, just let go, fired, whatever, you should be absolutely pissed.
Including Megyn Kelly.
What this is about is whiny, weak, woke youngsters who don't understand how the world works. And
I think we understand exactly how the world works, and this is why people are pissed off. We know exactly why this happened and how this happened and how this works. These lazy fucks up in the top brass, nice and secure in their position, never have to worry about that, about this happening to them, have been desensitized to the human plight. They have been desensitized. The amount of money, they traded their soul for an amount of money. This has happened day in, day out, and they always get ahead because guess what? In this world, the cutthroats get ahead. Good people like you, like me, that would never want to watch somebody get hurt and would do everything in your power to not have someone hurt on your behalf, would never, ever do something like this. We wouldn't sell our soul. No amount of money. And this is what happens. This is when the bottom line, when the bottom line out is more important than whether or not you starve to death tomorrow. And people like Megyn Kelly, you're a whiner. You're a whiner. You're whining about someone else whining. Who's even whining? She got fired, you cunt. She got fired for no notice, no reason, just like out of the blue, fired. Megyn Kelly, you whining. This is about being self-entitled, blah, 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 blah. No, this is because we all know how disgusting this world is, and we're sick of it happening to us. And we've been sitting here and we record stuff like this because guess what? We expect it now. We expect our lives to be turned upside down by these people in the higher brass. Doesn't matter how hard we work. Doesn't matter how hard we try. It never has. Not once in my adult life have I ever had the company look out for me. Never had the company look out for me. Well, smaller company in my last job actually did look out for me. But it's because there were freaking like 5 people there. That's it. Just me, three other pool guys, and the guy that owned it. That's pretty much it.
And I really think these young people need to understand, work harder, do better, stop blaming others, blame yourself.
Work harder, do better. You have a job, and if the job gets done, you did your job. They said poor expectations of performance. That's a coverall for one. Bullshit. Bull and shit. These people are just assholes, dude. These people are just assholes. Quit whining. It's the same person that says, well, your job has said weekends as needed. Yeah, weekends is needed. Like, I'm a pool guy, dude. Like, yeah, I understand. Like, sometimes pools need to get service, and you call a service tech and you have them come over. You don't explicitly say schedule. It said schedule Monday to here. I'm going to pull it up real quick for y'all to read. Hold on one sec. Let me pull this up for you guys so y'all can just appreciate the bullshit. This is the job I applied for. This is the job I got. Here's a button. I'm going to stay here in case you guys want to pause the video and read it a little bit. Job descriptions, blah, 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 blah. Basically clean pools, you may have to do other things other than clean pools. Job full-time. Here's the pay. No less than 30 hours per week. And all the benefits. This is all the shit I got excited for, right? Schedule. 8-hour shift, Monday to Friday. Weekends is needed. Now, what does weekends is needed mean to you? I can tell you what it means to me. It means that weekends are probably going to be something along the lines of extra work. You may get called in. You may have to be working on that on a weekend, but normally there's advance notice. You would give advance notice on something like this. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, Monday to Friday. Sounds good. That's going to be my regular schedule. It does say schedule, unless they plan on working me 7 days a week. Unless they plan on working me 7 days a week, this right here is bullshit. This is a lie. This right here is a lie. It's false. It's fraud. It's fraudulent. It's not true. So how do I feel about this right here? Looking at this bullshit. I don't like it. I don't like it. Like, it just reinforces the fact that I was lied to, that I was let go for bullshit reasons. Like, I'm just have my pointer like right on the Monday to Friday, and it hurts. It genuinely hurts because I know this is bullshit, and there's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing I can do about it right now, unless somebody can help me figure this out. The only thing I could do is actually, well, there are some things I could do about it, and there are some things I have done about it. I have definitely, hold on, let me change this up real quick. I've definitely left reviews. And if you ever gone through this situation, I implore you, do the same. Leave reviews, leave comments, let people know. For one, don't work for them. For two, do not hire these people. You want people in your community that treat the people they hire well. Because the people they hire, they turn into your friends, your neighbors, your brothers, your sisters, your children, your grandchildren. These people will eventually, somebody will work for one of these assholes. And what will end up happening is, next thing you know, they're fired for no reason. They're fired for a lie that they were told. They were told a lie, and then they're fired. Unacceptable, in my opinion. Completely unacceptable. This is a lie. This right here is a lie. It's false. It's an advertisement which is false. I wonder if there's a word, if there is a legal phrase for that. Fucking, I don't know what to tell you guys. So yeah, this is my situation right here. I'm gonna get out of that, and we'll go to something else. We'll start. What to say? Let's see. So, what can be done about this? What can be done about this? At-will employment. A lot of people say that at-will employment's fair, because you can leave whenever you want. Why can't an employer fire you whenever you want, whenever they want? Well, the problem herein lies in the power dynamic. The employer has control over your pay, has control over your time, has control over what you wear, when you eat, what you do like if you think you're free on your lunch, you're not. You better not go have a cigarette while you're in a company uniform. You're not free. And so they have all this power over all these things, your benefits, your pay, everything, your freedom. And yet the only thing you have is whether or not you're going to stay there. Which, why would you choose to leave somewhere when the economy is so crap that if you leave within a week or two, you're destitute? Within a day or two, you could be destitute. The only silver lining is you're required to get your next paycheck the next day. So what's the solution here? So I did some research, and Australia has quite an interesting solution. They've been doing just cause employment for a while now. So let's go take a look at just cause employment. Let me see. What's a good one? Here we go. So let me scroll up. We're not going to read the whole thing. Some things to know about termination before hiring in Australia. You must establish terms of dismissal in your employment contract. So there must be terms for dismissal. It's offered to the Australian employee needs to include termination clauses that spells out statutory requirements for notice periods and acceptable reasons for terminating employees without notice. So you have to basically have a real good reason to terminate somebody without notice. You can terminate in Australia without notice. Employees may be entitled to redundancy pay if they're laid off and it's considered wrongful termination. Generally, you can only dismiss employees if you give notice for pay in lieu of the notice. Termination procedure may vary by award category. Blah 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 blah. Small differences have different termination requirements. So they've been doing this for a while. And from everything I heard, this is quite successful. Basically, it makes sense to me. It makes sense to me. The employee is vulnerable. The employee in the United States is vulnerable. The employee everywhere is vulnerable. Like even Australia, they're vulnerable. But they have protections in Australia because they recognize that vulnerability. They recognize that laying somebody off, that in an economy like this, firing them, whatever you want to call it, is detrimental. And if you have the ability to pay your employees for a week or two and have a good, clear reason for firing them, then you're okay. But in America, if you were to do this in Australia, do what they did to me, did the girl, would do to you, if they do that in Australia, there are fines and you are getting paid. But for some reason, Australia is like it is the one that got it right. I'm sure there's other countries that got it right, but Australia is the first place I come to mind. They're a good example. There are questions like, oh, what happens if they're laying people off because the company is going under? Well, they also take them at, like, whether or not the company's in the red into account, like, what were the circumstances? They take that into account. But they also make sure the employee gets set up. So when we talk about at will, what is there anywhere you can go to get away from this draconian law, or this draconian standard we're all forced into? I looked around. Every state in the United States is at will. There was a time where I was under the belief that Montana was the only state that was just cause, but recent research has proven otherwise. Every state in the United States is at will. There are some little modifications here or there, but for the most part, it's at will. So you can get fired for anything. You can have your life turned upside down for any reason. You could not show up on a Sunday when their ad specifically says, "Hey, it's Sunday, you're off," and then they just get a hair up their butt and you're fired. You lost your income. You lost your job. You lost your self-esteem. You lost your self-sense worth. You've lost all the work you put in over the year or so at the other job, learning a trade. So what can you do? This is a very upsetting topic for me at the moment. It's very heartbreaking, and it breaks my heart to watch other people go through this, but they're going through it. I'm going through it. So what am I going to do about it? Like I said, I posted on social media. I have blasted them every chance and every opportunity I got. I will continue to blast them every chance, every opportunity I got. I do have a little bit of money saved up, so I'll be okay, I think. I plan on going down to the area where they are most widely known, and I made flyers and posters and all that. And it's fairly cheap to do it. Like, thank God it's cheap to do stuff like that. It's like 6 cents. It's like 6 cents a flyer. And I'm gonna make sure there's one right outside their business, right on the telephone pole, right outside their business. They're gonna enjoy seeing that one first thing in the morning, the next day. I'm gonna make sure that's there, and I'm gonna go into the most populated spot I can find. I'm gonna make sure I do things legally. I'm gonna make sure that I only do it within like proper regulations and jurisdiction. Blah 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 blah. And I'm gonna post some flyers. I'm gonna they're pretty cool little flyers. I have some on my Facebook if you guys want to take a look. And I'm pretty proud of them actually. But that's what I'm gonna do. I'm done. I'm done being taken advantage of by the system. I've worked for shitty employer after shitty employer after shitty employer. I got a decent employer, but it was just not enough money. I'm sorry. I need a little bit more. I love them to death, and I gave them 2 weeks. I gave them the professional courtesy, and they were super nice to me, but they just don't have work anymore, so I can't go back to it. And I did everything I thought I was supposed to do. Did everything I thought I was supposed to do, and I was failed. I was failed, maliciously failed, because they knew. They knew. I told them, and if I did, and I don't know how you don't know after I tell you. I tell you, this is what your website says. You know, this is what your job ad says. I'm not in the wrong here. I need a job. I need to work. I need to make money. I need to eat. I need to breathe. I need to have a roof over my head. I need gas in my car. I need to make sure I'm able to buy wheels for a car that's, you know, I could have a blowout, and I'm like, shit, fuck. And, you know, there goes a little bit more of my nest egg. It's a shitty world we live in where people get away with that. But I'm going to try not to make sure they get away with it. And I implore that you guys, if you ever find yourself in a situation similar, don't do it. Do not let them just get away without you being heard. Don't let other people not hear your story. You know, it was nice to when I posted posted that rant about them on Facebook. You know, 90% of the people were for me. Of course, you got the one or two idiots here and there that are just like, I don't know what to tell them, but. You know, one person said that they were never going to have their service, and I was like, "That's $200 to $300 a month that they will never see. They will never see." And I am proud as fuck at that. I'm so glad that they're never going to see that $200 to $300 a month because of something I said, and I am going to do my damnedest to make sure they don't see where I got to do what I can to make sure that I cut as deep as possible with this, because they will never, ever, ever treat you right unless the cut is deep enough. All right, guys. Well, this is Jay Nova. Thank you for joining my stream, and thank you. If you're gonna like, comment, and subscribe, please share this video. I think it's very important. At least the topic we're talking about is very important. My personal life is really not important at all. You can ask the people of the fucking Ocean Springs Tech in Desert Hot Springs, California, or you can leave a comment and tell them just how important you think I am. So, appreciate you guys. Have a great day. Bye.